Welcome to another episode where we dive deep into the latest in recruitment strategies, AI innovations, and HR solutions. If you're looking to elevate your hiring game and stay ahead in the ever-evolving world of talent acquisition, you're in the right place. Make sure to like, follow, and subscribe so you never miss an episode filled with insights, expert interviews, and actionable tips to transform your recruitment approach. Stay tuned for exclusive content designed to make your hiring process smarter, faster, and more effective.
All right, so today we're diving into the world of SaaS Technical Operations Managers. We're going to break down what they do, what makes a really great one, and probably most importantly, what you should watch out for when you're hiring one. It's kind of like we're giving you a cheat sheet for finding that person who not only keeps all the tech gears turning smoothly, but also makes sure your dev team isn't totally burning out.
It's a crucial role, absolutely vital in the fast-paced world of SaaS.
So let's start with the why. Why is a technical operations manager a SaaS important, especially for these SaaS companies?
Well, think about the pressures in SaaS. You're constantly updating, you've got subscription models to manage, and everyone's expecting you to scale super fast. So a strong operations manager is the one who keeps all those plates spinning, making sure that the tech side of the business can actually deliver on all those promises.
So they're kind of like the air traffic controller,
Hmm,
but for like a really, really busy airport, making sure nothing crashes.
that's a great analogy. They're coordinating all the arrivals and departures, making sure everything runs smoothly, and keeping everyone calm even when things get a little bit hectic.
Okay, yeah. I can see why you wouldn't want to fly without one.
Hmm.
So let's get into the specifics. What does a SaaS technical operations manager actually do, unlike a day-to-day basis?
Well, one of their biggest responsibilities is managing the team's productivity. Now, that doesn't just mean like cracking the whip and demanding people work harder. It's about understanding your team's strengths, knowing how to play to those strengths when you're assigning tasks,
Yeah.
and making sure that nobody's drowning in work while someone else is sitting around twiddling their thumbs.
Yeah, it sounds like a delicate balancing act, especially when you think about how many tech teams are remote these days.
Exactly. And that leads right into another core responsibility, coordinating timelines and delivery. In SaaS, hitting those feature release dates and keeping your customers happy is everything. A good operations manager keeps everyone on track, anticipates any potential roadblocks, and makes sure the whole team is aligned on the product roadmap.
So they're also the master of the project management dance, but with a tech twist.
You could say that. They might be using methodologies like Agile or Scrum and tools like Jira or Asana. Think of those as their choreography notes to keep everyone in sync.
Okay, those names ring a bell. But could you break down those tools and methodologies a little bit for those of us who maybe aren't totally fluent in tech speak?
Absolutely. Agile and Scrum are all about breaking down big projects into smaller, more manageable chunks and working in short, focused sprints. It's like running a relay race instead of a marathon. And tools like Jira and Asana help you track those sprints, assign tasks, and keep communication flowing between team members. They're like the team's shared whiteboard visible to everyone.
So it's all about keeping everyone moving in the right direction at the right pace. But where does reporting fit into all of this?
Reporting. That's a bridge between the tech team and the higher-ups. The operations manager needs to be able to translate all that technical jargon into something that leadership can understand and something they can use to make decisions. Think of it like translating a complex scientific paper into a clear news article for the general public.
Okay, so no rambling technical monologues allowed. But data dumps aren't very helpful either, right?
Not at all. Data visualization skills are becoming more and more important. A good operations manager can present data in a way that's clear, compelling, and helps everyone see the big picture.
That makes sense. So we've got managing team productivity, coordinating timelines, reporting up. Is there anything else that falls under the operations manager's umbrella?
We can't forget about operational efficiency and process improvement. This is where you really see those problem-solving skills come into play.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Okay, imagine this. You walk into a kitchen, and you see a chef juggling multiple dishes, ingredients are scattered everywhere, and there's just a general sense of chaos. Now picture a different kitchen, where everything has its place, tasks are streamlined, and the chef moves with calm precision. The operations manager is like the force that brings order to that chaos, constantly looking for ways to optimize and streamline processes.
So they're like the Marie Kondo of the sauce world, tidying up all that digital clutter, making things spark joy. for the dev team.
Haha, exactly. They might implement new tools, automate repetitive tasks, or even redesign entire systems to make them run more smoothly and efficiently. Remember those bug reports we talked about earlier? A great operations manager might implement a new workflow that reduces those reports by like 20%. That's the kind of impact they can have.
Now, that's music to a CEO's ears.
Oh,
So we've got a pretty good idea of what a SaaS Technical Operations Manager does, like day to day. But let's say you're getting ready to hire for this role. What are the key skills and competencies you should be looking for on a resume?
well, the first thing you want to assess is their technical understanding. They don't need to be like coding ninjas or anything, but they do need to grasp the fundamentals of SaaS technology. Think cloud infrastructure deployment cycles, all those behind the scenes elements,
Why is that so important if they're not the ones actually writing the code?
because they're managing the people who are. They need to understand the challenges that developers face, the tools they use, and the overall technical landscape. Imagine trying to lead an orchestra without knowing anything about music. It wouldn't work very well, would it?
Okay, that analogy makes perfect sense. So technical understanding is a must. What about project and team management skills? I imagine those are pretty high on the list too.
Absolutely. You're going to want someone with proven experience managing projects and leading teams, especially in a fast-paced environment like SaaS. This is where those methodologies and tools we talked about earlier come in handy. Look for experience with Agile, Scrum, Jira, Asana. Those are good indicators that they know how to plan, execute, and track projects effectively.
And hopefully wrangle a team of developers along the way. I've heard they can be a bit particular.
That's putting it mildly, but a skilled operations manager knows how to motivate developers, keep them focused, and get the best out of their talents.
All right, so we've got technical understanding, project, and team management. What else should we be scanning those resumes for?
Don't overlook operational and process optimization. Remember those efficiency ninjas we talked about? Look for concrete examples of how they've improved workflows, implemented automation, or optimized processes in their previous roles.
So instead of just saying, I'm great at process improvement, give me the receipt, show me the results.
Exactly. You want to see those quantifiable achievements. Something like, I implemented a new testing protocol that reduced bugs by 15%, or I streamlined the deployment process, cutting release times in half. Those are the kinds of statements that make a hiring manager sit up and take notice.
It's like they're handing you a before and after photo of their process improvement skills. And the after picture looks amazing. All right, so technical skills, project management, operational efficiency. What else?
Last but certainly not least, you need someone with top-notch communication and reporting skills. Remember, they're the bridge between the tech team and everyone else in the company. They need to be able to explain complex concepts clearly and concisely, whether they're talking to executive stakeholders or even customers.
So think clear, concise communication with a dash of diplomacy.
Exactly. And remember those data visualization skills we talked about. Being able to present data in a way that's both informative and engaging is a huge asset. You want someone who can tell a story with data, paint a picture with numbers, and make sure everyone is on the same page.
Okay, so we've covered the hard skills. But let's be real, technical prowess alone doesn't make a great SaaS technical operations manager. What about those all-important soft skills, the things you can't always see on a resume?
Those are crucial. We're talking about things like strong organizational skills, problem solving and decision-making abilities, adaptability, and a good dose of empathy. You'll want to see evidence of those qualities throughout the entire hiring process.
Well, we've definitely got our work cut out for us as we unpack all of this. But let's take a quick break and we'll come back to dive into those soft skills in more detail.
All right, so let's jump into those soft skills you just mentioned. They're really the secret sauce that can turn a technically competent operations manager into someone truly exceptional.
So let's start with organizational skills. What does that actually look like in the context of SaaS Technical Operations Manager?
Well, think about it. You're juggling multiple projects, deadlines are looming, and you've got this whole team of developers who need your guidance and support. Staying organized is absolutely essential, and I'm not just talking about having a tidy desk here.
It's more about like mental organization, being able to keep all those plates spinning without dropping any.
Exactly. A great operations manager is a master of prioritization. They know which tasks are mission critical, which ones can be delegated, and how to keep everything moving forward without getting bogged down in all the little details.
So they're the ones who can like calmly navigate the storm while everyone else is running around panicking.
That's a great way to put it. They're the steady hand at the helm, keeping the ship on course even when the waters get a little rough.
Okay, that makes sense.
Mm.
What about problem solving and decision making?
Those are essential skills for any leadership role. But especially in the fast-paced world of SaaS, you're constantly facing new challenges, unexpected roadblocks, and the pressure to make decisions quickly and confidently.
So it's not just about putting out fires, it's about anticipating those fires before they even start.
Exactly. A good operations manager is proactive, not reactive. They're constantly looking for potential problems, identifying risks, and coming up with solutions before those problems turn into major crises.
I imagine that takes a certain level of intuition, being able to kind of see around corners
Mm.
and anticipate what's coming next.
Yeah, it does. And it also takes a willingness to take calculated risks. Sometimes you have to make a decision based on incomplete information, and you have to be comfortable with that level of uncertainty.
So a bit of a gambler, but a smart one.
Precisely. They're not afraid to roll the dice, but they're always thinking several steps ahead.
All right, so we've got organizational skills, problem solving, and decision making.
Mhm.
What about adaptability? Why is that so important in the SaaS world?
Because the only constant in SaaS is change. New technologies are always, emerging market demands are shifting. Companies need to be able to pivot really quickly to stay ahead of the curve. So an operations manager who's stuck in their ways and resistant to change is going to be a major liability.
So they need to be comfortable with a bit of chaos, embrace the unknown.
Absolutely. They
Yeah.
need to be open to new ideas, willing to experiment, and able to learn and adapt on the fly. The SaaS landscape is constantly evolving, and the best operations managers are the ones who can evolve right along with it.
It's like they're surfing this giant wave of technological change, riding that wave instead of getting wiped out.
I love that analogy. They're the ones who can stay balanced, agile, and always moving forward.
All right, last but not least, let's talk about empathy and team leadership. We touched on this a little bit earlier,
Yeah,
but I think it's worth digging a little deeper.
absolutely. This is where the human element really comes in. A great operations manager isn't just a taskmaster. They're a leader who inspires and motivates their team. They understand that people are the heart of any successful organization, and they create a work environment where everyone feels valued, respected, and supported.
Especially in a remote work environment, where it's easy to feel isolated and disconnected from your colleagues.
Exactly. Building a strong team culture remotely is even more challenging, but it's absolutely crucial. A good operations manager makes an effort to connect with their team members on a personal level, even if it's just through video calls or online chat. They celebrate successes, offer support during difficult times, and make sure everyone feels like they're part of something bigger than themselves.
It's like they're the virtual glue that holds the team together, even when they're physically apart.
That's a great way to put it. They're the ones who create that sense of camaraderie, that feeling of belonging. That makes people excited to come to work or log in, as the case may be. Every day.
So we've talked about organizational skills, problem solving, adaptability, and empathy. Those are some pretty high standards. But before we move on to some of the red flags to watch out for, I'd love to hear your thoughts on industry-specific experience. Is there anything in particular that you should look for when you're hiring a SaaS technical operations manager?
Well, as we've touched on throughout this whole deep dive, a background in SaaS or the tech industry is a huge plus. It shows that they understand the unique challenges and demands of this space.
They've been in the trenches, so to speak.
Exactly. They've experienced the rapid pace of development, the constant pressure to innovate, the importance of customer feedback, and the need to scale quickly. That insider knowledge is invaluable.
And if you're a company with remote or distributed teams, experience managing those types of teams is crucial as well, right?
Absolutely. Managing remote teams comes with its own set of challenges. You need to be able to build trust and rapport virtually, set clear expectations, provide regular feedback, and create that sense of community even when people are geographically dispersed. It's a whole different ballgame.
So communication skills become even more critical in that remote setting.
Definitely. You need to be a master of both written and verbal communication, and you need to be comfortable using a variety of tools and platforms to stay connected with your team.
And finally, I'm curious about your thoughts on customer success and user experience. How does that fit into the operations manager's role?
That's a great question. At the end of the day, everything we do in SaaS is about delivering value to the customer. A good operations manager understands that, and they make sure that the tech team is aligned with that goal. They're not just thinking about the code, they're thinking about the people who are actually using the software and how to make their experience as smooth and enjoyable as possible.
So they're kind of like the voice of the customer within the tech team, making sure that the user's perspective is always front and center.
Exactly. They're advocating for the user, making sure that all the technical decisions are made with the user experience in mind.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. We talked about the why, the what, and the how of SaaS Technical Operations Managers, from those essential hard skills to those crucial soft skills.
Mhm.
But now it's time to kind of shift gears and talk about those red flags you mentioned earlier. What should you be watching out for on a resume that might signal trouble down the road?
Yeah, so let's talk about those red flags. Those things that might look okay on a resume at first glance, but could actually be some warning signs that this candidate might not be the perfect fit for your company.
So what's like the biggest red flag?
Well, especially for a role like this, I'd say a lack of relevant experience is a big one. I'm not saying you need to find someone who's been in the sauce trenches for a decade, but some exposure to the tech industry, especially the fast-paced world of software development, that's crucial.
Why is that so important? Couldn't someone with strong, like general management experience adapt into the sauce environment?
It's possible, but the learning curve for sauce can be really steep. And you don't want someone learning the ropes on your dime and potentially making costly mistakes along the way. Someone with prior experience in sauce or even just a related field, they're going to hit the ground running and be able to contribute much faster. They'll already understand the terminology, the challenges, the pace. It's a whole different world.
Yeah.
And that insider knowledge is invaluable.
Okay, so experience matters,
Uh-huh.
especially in a field as specialized as sauce. What about those resumes that are just full of like vague descriptions? Managed a team, improved efficiency, that kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, those are definitely red flags. You want to see concrete accomplishments, quantifiable results, not just a laundry list of duties. Anyone can say they're a great manager or a process improvement guru, but the proof is in the pudding, as they say. So look for specific examples of how they've actually made a measurable impact in their previous roles.
So instead of just saying manage a team of developers, you want to see something like increase team productivity by 15% while also reducing burnout by 10%. Like, give me the numbers.
Exactly. Those numbers tell a story. They show that this candidate not only understands how to manage a team, but they've actually achieved tangible results. It's the difference between saying you can bake a cake and actually presenting someone with a delicious, perfectly baked cake.
And I bet those numbers are even more important when you're talking about operational efficiency and process improvement.
Absolutely. You want to see evidence that they've streamlined workflows, implemented automation, optimized systems, and you want to see the results of those efforts. Did they reduce costs, improve speed, increase customer satisfaction? Give me the data.
It's like those before and after photos you see in those home renovation shows. You want to see that dramatic transformation. Okay, so we've talked about lack of experience and vague descriptions. What about frequent job hopping? Is that always a red flag?
It can be, especially if you see a pattern of someone moving from company to company every 6 months or a year. Of course, there are always valid reasons for changing jobs. Maybe they were looking for more growth opportunities, a better cultural fit, or a chance to work on a different type of project.
So it's not necessarily a deal breaker, but it's definitely something to dig into during the interview process.
Exactly. Ask them about those career moves. Why did they leave their previous roles? What were they looking for in a new opportunity? Their answers will give you valuable insights into their motivations, their work style, and their overall career goals.
Okay, that makes sense. So we've covered a lot of ground today, from the why of SaaS Technical Operations Managers to the what they do, the skills they need, and even those red flags to watch out for on a resume. But before we wrap up, I want to bring it back to you, the listener. How can you use this information to your advantage? Are you currently hiring for this role? Are you in the tech world yourself? Or are you just fascinated by the inner workings of these SaaS companies? No matter where you're coming from, I hope this deep dive has given you a better understanding of this critical role and how it really impacts the success of a SaaS company. But before we go, I want to leave you with one final thought to ponder. We've talked a lot about the technical skills and experience needed for this role. But as technology continues to evolve at this crazy pace, what do you think are the most important qualities for a SaaS Technical Operations Manager to possess in the future? What will it take to truly excel in this role in the years to come? That's something to think about as you navigate the ever-changing world of SaaS. Until next time, keep learning, keep exploring, and keep diving deep.
See you then.
Don't forget to like, follow, and subscribe to stay updated with the latest episodes and exclusive content designed to enhance your recruitment strategies.